So, honestly, the point of this channel was to tell my story and also to inform people. I've always wanted to write a book, but then I realized writing a book was really, really hard. So I thought, I'll just talk my story out, and then later I'll go back, watch every single video, and write my book. And so I haven't told specific stories. I've just kind of given the overview, like, oh, this is what's going on in my life right now. So I thought maybe I'd tell you a story of when I was younger that maybe you didn't know about me. So I've always been very active, very determined, um, because it's been a feeling, and this may just be me, but I did not want epilepsy to hold me back at all. So if epilepsy held me back from something, I was going to find something else that I could do. So if you know what Upwards Basketball is, great. If you do not, it is a Christian basketball team, and it's pretty widely known, and I played with them for 4 years. And Mom always told me when I was young and when I was growing up not to tell people, or to be careful who I told, that I had epilepsy. Not that it was something to be ashamed of, but just that no one really knew what petit mal seizures were, and that they'd automatically assume that I was going to start convulsing, and they'd be worried about my health, and I would not be able to do what I loved. So as a child, I was very careful to tell who I told and who I didn't. So I played with Upwards Basketball for 4 years, and the whole time I did pretty good with them totally missing the fact that I would have seizures during games. And I guess this was an omission of truth. It was a basketball game I was playing, and this happened multiple times, but I'll just choose this story. They were passing me a ball, and I just stood there and missed it, didn't even try to catch it because I wasn't there, like I was having a seizure. And so my coach was like, Caitlin, why didn't you catch the ball? And I was like, I didn't see it, coach, which is true. I didn't see it, but I didn't tell them the fact of like why I didn't see it. They just kind of were like, well, keep your eye on the ball. And I'm like, okay, coach. And then I went on to play further along in my years, or I tried, and on our first practice, it was no longer Upwards, it was junior high basketball, and they had a seizure. Well, by then, I was like, I can trust them. I mean, this is also a Christian basketball team. They're not gonna do anything, right? And so the only reason I said something was because they were more intense. It was more scary, and I was just kind of tired of being blamed for stuff I couldn't control and kind of keeping it a secret. So I just told him, I was like, yeah, the reason I didn't make that layup is because I had a seizure and I missed it. And then he's like, after practice today, I need to talk to you. And so he pulled me and my mom aside, and he was like, listen, junior high school basketball is much more aggressive than like middle school, and when you're playing as a kid, he goes, it just is. I need you to like get something from the doctor saying that you can play, and once you get that, she can play on the team. But because of our policy, like, I don't want her getting hurt or anything. If the doctor says she can play, but if the doctor says she can't, then she can't. So I was really kind of confused about that. I was 13, and as we got in the car, it was just like dead silence, because I didn't know how to respond. I didn't know if he was being mean, if he actually cared, or if he just cared about winning the games. Like, I didn't know how to take it. And so we rode in complete silence, and then when I made it home, I was like, so when are we going to the doctor? Just naturally assuming, that we were going to go. And she goes, Caitlin, we can't because we already know what your doctor would say. Because I had a list, like, what seemed like a mile long when I was 13. It really wasn't that long, of things I couldn't do. And on there was sports. Certain sports. And basketball was one of the sports. And I'd been doing it without my doctors knowing, when I was little. And she was like, we can go if you just really want to, but I have a feeling I already know the answer, and I don't want it to just be this traumatic thing on you where the doctor's like, no, you can't, because you've tried so hard and you've done it. And I understood, and so I stepped down, and it was the next week where I discovered ballet, and I fell in love with ballet. And basketball was like, yeah, it was fun and I enjoyed it, but ballet, man, it was like the best thing that ever happened to me, or one of the best things. Well, at the time it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Since then there have been really great experiences, but I really, in this weird way, kind of think it was a God thing that I got out of basketball and went on to ballet, because ballet, not only did it teach me and give me this love and this passion, but it also opened up a door for a career. When I graduated, I had a career in mind. I knew what I wanted to do with my life from the age of, 13, 14. I was 13 when I started. And then I just became slightly obsessed with it. And it's still, to me, one of the most beautiful art forms. Well, it is the most beautiful art form. The hardest sport out there. And it was just something that, like, gave me more determination, more drive, because I knew I could keep pushing and pushing, and I was my own limit, if that made sense. Like, the sky wasn't the limit. It was like, I can go as high as I want. I just have to work and keep working. And as long as I keep working and keep working, I can get better. And that was really good for me, because I finally had something that seizures would not interfere with. Like, when you have seizures and you're taking medication, you kind of have this feeling of, this is all I can do. There's nothing else I can do. And then ballet came along, and it was like, I can go as far as I can go. Like, if I work and work and work and work, I'm gonna get better and better and better and better. And that's how ballet works. And it just clicked and made sense. And so that was my therapy for many years. And I am so thankful for ballet and what it did for me. So that is just one short story of mine, and I'm really thankful for ballet. So yes, thank you for listening to Story Times with Caitlin. I love y'all. Thank you for your prayers and support. So, bye-bye.